up, YouTubers? Rich from 2RC Productions here. Today we got something a little bit different. You know, we are primarily an RC channel, but our other passion is cars, real cars, and we like to mix it up a little bit. So today we are going to talk about the 2001 Mustang Bullitt feature car. This was the original brochure that came with the car that the guy that bought the car originally received. And you can see the 68 fastback Mustang and then the new rendition. Mustang feature car. It says the reincarnation of the thundering 68 fastback that burned up the streets of San Francisco in this movie Bullitt. And they show you the options here. While Steve McQueen got the accolades, the real star of the 68 film was Bullitt, was the sinister looking fastback Mustang. And then they show you the 3 color combinations and some of the options and features that this car came with, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go over, here's the $36.95 was the Bullitt package when it was new in 2001. And then they just show a couple pictures of the back, the original 68 Mustang, 2001 Bullitt feature car. Will appeal to muscle car enthusiasts. Its heritage will appeal to nostalgia and movie buffs. So you can see the car. It's a real special car, limited production. And today's video, we will go over all the different features and compare it to a Mustang GT. And I want to thank everybody for watching this video ahead of time. Thanks for subscribing. Please don't forget to thumbs up and rate as always.
What's up, YouTubers? Rich from 2RC Productions here, and we're going to do something a little different. You know, we have a RC channel and primarily all RC stuff. Every once in a while we do a car video. I love cars. That's another passion of mine. Today we got a couple of Mustangs here we're going to talk about. This one is Richie's 2000 GT, Ford Mustang GT. And this is one we just picked up as a 2000 Bullitt GT edition, limited production. So basically what we're going to do today is we're going to showcase the Bullitt, but I want to go over some of the differences between them. So it works out perfect that we have a standard GT and we have a Bullitt edition to go over the differences. All right, YouTubers, so what we got here is a 2001 Ford Mustang Bullitt edition, which was named after the movie, the 1968 movie Bullitt with Steve McQueen, who had the 68 Mustang fastback 390 4-speed, and he got in a car chase with a 1968 Hemi Charger, and it's one of the best car scenes that was ever filmed. People try to reproduce it now, they can't do it. It's a great movie. If you've never seen it, check it out. But for the people that know about it, it's a cult favorite. Everybody loves the movie. The car sounds great in there, and obviously from 1968 on, it was a very popular movie, enough that Ford, for their first car that they ever tied to a movie, 2001, they came out with this car. In the movie, Steve McQueen drove a dark Highland green Mustang, and when they produced this model, the Bullitt model, they made dark Highland green, black, and true blue. This is in true blue right here. They made a total of like 5,500 units. Initially it was going to be 6,500 units, but they never got them all out. They made 722 of these blue ones like this that you see in front of you. And the only option that was available besides the Bullitt package extra option was a Mach 460 radio. This one happens to not have the Mach 460 radio, which makes it one of 54 produced. As you can see, the Mach 460 radio would have tweeters in here. This is the base radio with just a CD player, AM, FM, and 4 basic speakers. Now looking inside the car, while we're in here, you can tell the differences in the standard GT. And I'm going to go over all the options on the Bullitt that came in this package. And at the time, it was a $3,600 add-on option at the dealer. First thing we're going to look at here is the sill plates. You got the brushed aluminum Bullitt sill plates, which is a Bullitt-only option. Next, down here, we have the aluminum covered pedals. You can see that was Bullitt specific. Dashboard, they give you a retro 150-mile speedo with the different style numbers than like a GT. That's different. Next thing here in the interior is the Cobra seats. These are seats from a Cobra with the bolsters, but they give you the retro looking Mustang vertical upholstery here that resembles the old car from the 60s. That's Bullitt option. Inside there, you'll notice the brushed aluminum 5-speed shifter and aluminum bezel trim ring around the shifter. That's also Bullitt. Now,
Other than that, on the inside, I believe that is everything that is Bullitt. And like I said, there's so many little tiny things that I want to make sure I don't forget anything. But I believe that's it for the inside. Oh, we also got these here, the lock soldiers right there. Those are brushed aluminum. That's Bullitt as well. Now, the outside of the car. You're going to notice these wheels here. These are made by American Racing, a torque thrust style wheel from back in the 60s. Bullitt specific came with this light gray. They came with the Cobra brakes, 11.5s in the front, 13 or in the back, 13s in the front, with the painted red calipers, which I have to clean up yet. We just got this, so you can see in the front. They had the galloping horse on the front caliper, twin piston in the front. These wheels were Bullitt specific. And those of you might not know that they didn't make 99, 2000, they didn't have these wheels, and they didn't have this hood scoop like this. This came out on the Bullitt first. And then it was so popular that in the 2002 model year, you could get that on a Mustang Premium. You could get the Bullitt wheels and the Bullitt scoop, but these were darker gray. This light gray is Bullitt specific edition only. Like I said, the color, this true blue, was also offered in 02 in the regular GTs, but it first was out for the Bullitt Mustang. Now, looking around the car itself, pretty much like a GT headlights. One thing I want to point out down here, this is where the fog lamps would be. Bullitts did not come with fog lamps, so you have an empty void there. The honeycomb grille, Bullitt specific. As far as the corral around the horse, this was normally chrome. Bullitt edition, black only. Another little change. Under the hood, you'll notice the 4.6 liter single overhead cam V8 in its stock form in the GT. Put out 260 horsepower. The standard GT came with a plastic intake manifold and a 65 millimeter bore intake. The difference on the Bullitt is pretty substantial when you look at the intake manifold. It has an aluminum intake and dual 57 millimeter bore throttle bodies. That's the difference. Same basics. This is a little bit different on the intake. Same air filter. Same basic motor. The Bullitt came with underdrive pulleys to free up a little bit extra horsepower. Also on the Bullitt, under the hood, clear coat was used under the hood. You can tell the difference, how shiny this is compared to the GTs. They just used the base color and didn't have clear on them, so it's rather dull. Coming back to the Bullitt, this is what makes it special. This was a hologram that Ford put on the shock tower. It shows Bullitt. My number happens to be 4133 out of the 55 and some change that were produced. This here lets you know that it's legit. That, and also in the door, if you look at the VIN tag here, we're looking for a, where is it here? KW is what we're looking for. Here it is, KW. KW designation, Bullitt. It's the real deal. Now there's a chance you could buy one of these and have somebody buy all these special parts and switch them around. So you always want to be safe, because there's so many Mustangs out there that people can modify them and make them, they make them into Cobras and whatever, all different things are going on. So you want to make sure that you got the KW. You want to try to make sure you have the sticker. I've also been told that there's a sticker under the rear seat, which I don't really want to pull the rear seat out right now, so I'm going to take their word for it. And we have our sticker there, so we really don't need to prove that. Now getting to the outside, I told you the Bullitt wheels are specific, the brakes are specific. Also, the side scoops are completely different on the Bullitt. They're smooth. On the GT, let's take a look at the GT. On the GT, 99 and 2000 use this style. This was kind of a shallow scoop. And then in 2002, they had the bigger scoops, and they used those through 2002, 3, and 4. So this is the standard type of scoop for this year, and this is the Bullitt side scoop. So you see the difference there. The other thing while we're between the cars is the rockers here. They give this extension piece here, and it gives it a lower feel to the ground. Now we'll look at the GT.
GT comes down and kind of fans out, sticks down. It's totally different design. Up here, they had like little mud flaps that were integrated into the plastic here. And you have to be careful because a lot of these got snapped off. You know, you hit something a little bit low. The Bullitt also is lowered. It has Tokiko shocks on it. It's lowered 3/4 of an inch versus the GT, so it has a lower stance, a little better handling. The other thing, and I don't want to make Richie go all the way under here, but the Bullitt came with subframe connectors under the chassis to stiffen up the frame, which is another Bullitt specific option. As far as the outside of the car, basically a GT. It is a GT, as you can see. It was a GT, Bullitt GT, but it's basically a Mustang GT. So you had your hood scoop and wheels was the first standout. Now, getting to the rear quarter portion of the car, this is where it's really, when you see it from this angle, anybody that's a Ford guy or a Mustang guy is going to know exactly what this is. This car also started the brushed gas filler cap and trim ring with the pony on the inside. That was Bullitt. And then everybody started buying them, putting them on their cars. This was Bullitt specific when it first came out. The other thing, rolled exhaust tips, stainless steel rolled tips. Richie has MagnaFlow exhaust tips on his that are rolled tip, but the standard GT comes with a straight 45, or not a 45 slice, but an angle slice straight tip, not a rolled edge. Bullitt specific. Then here, this is what I love about the back of this car. You got the Mustang that's into the body itself, which doesn't really stand out from a distance, but you got your Ford emblem and you got your Bullitt emblem on the back left hand corner. So anybody that knows anything about Fords and Mustang is going to see that emblem and go, oh man, that's a Bullitt, that's awesome. Or if they don't know, they're going to go, what is a Bullitt? So that's going to attract some attention, and that's Bullitt specific as well. The exhaust was different on the Bullitt. It was tuned to sound like the 1968 390 Mustang. So a company named Arvin had made the mufflers for this car, and they flowed 20% better than stock exhaust. So the rated horsepower on the Bullitt is 265 from the factory. Like I told you, the GT has 260 horsepower. But when you take a 20% flow increase in the exhaust and a major increase in airflow up front and underdrive pulleys, anybody that knows anything about cars is going to tell you you're going to get way more than 5 horsepower out of that. I've read online that guys were getting as much as 275, 277 horse out of the stock Bullitt. And driving this car, I've been around cars all my life. Mopar and Ford are my two favorites. As a kid, my dad was into Mopar big time. My uncle's still into Mopar. My other uncle's Ford. And as I've gotten older, I've been swaying towards the Ford side more and more. And now I just absolutely love the Fords and the Mustangs in particular. But driving this car, I can tell it's at least a 14 flat, if not into the 13s by the way it pulls. So 5 horsepower is not going to make that big of a difference. It has a better power curve all through the RPM range with the intake. I mean, it just, any point, any speed you're going, any gear, you give it a little bit of gas and it just wants to go. And the sound is what makes it really unique. Now you're going to notice Richie's is not stock. His has cold air induction. It has basically stock exhaust coming back with 40 series Flowmasters to the MagnaFlow tips. So his car is actually louder than the Bullitt in stock form. The Bullitt is completely stock. They're totally different sounds. The Flowmaster gives you a nice deep sound. The Mustang comes with a stock H pipe, which gives you a deep throaty sound. If you go to an X pipe, it makes it a more tinty, raspy kind of sound, higher sound. I myself like the H pipe sound better. The Bullitt sounds great, but to me it's just a little bit too quiet. But it's a different sound and you'll hear it. We're going to give you an exhaust sample. And the Bullitt gives you more of a poppy sound like the old Mustang did in the 60s, what they're trying to model after. I myself would like it a little bit louder. The Richie's is an automatic. The Bullitt is a 5-speed. So when you are driving a 5-speed, anybody that's ever driven stick or knows about stick, you get a much different sound out of the stick shift. So I love the whining of the trans. I love winding up the gears. You can hear the exhaust inside, but it's not real droney. Richie's is a little more droney inside. But just wanted to give you guys a look at these two cars together. Oh, one big thing I'm forgetting here, guys. I walked past the Bullitt and I went over all that stuff, and that's what I'm saying. There's so many different things in here, and I want to make sure that I don't forget. And if I do forget, please, by all means, somebody let me know, post a comment, let me know if I forgot something. The huge thing, the rear spoiler. Every Mustang pretty much comes with the rear spoiler. 99 had a different one. 2000 they changed it. 2001, 2. Actually, this is the same as the 99. I had a 99 GT a while back too. This is the same as the 99. Then as of 2002, 3, 4, they changed the spoiler. But they all had spoilers on the trunk. The Bullitt does not have a spoiler on it. And it's just got this clean look across the trunk. Again, to give it that retro look and to make it look more like the original 68 Mustang that Steve McQueen drove. So I believe I've covered everything here, guys, and I just wanted to give you a look at this car. It's a very special car. They didn't make that many of them. They're not worth a ton of money now. They're affordable, but they are extremely cool car if you're a Mustang enthusiast or a Ford enthusiast, or even if you don't know that much about it, you look at the car and the combination just looks cool. Cannot be denied. So we're going to break away here and we're going to give you an exhaust sample.